Alright guys, welcome back. This time we're going to be looking at the tanks. So far, from looking at the kit and looking at the different miniatures, these are probably the weakest part. From a quality point of view, they have the most flashing and the most little defects and things you need to take care of. Nothing major, as I said, it's just really flashing. The thing I'm worried about more than anything is the fact that joining them together, you're going to end up having a seam down the middle. And you're probably going to want to get rid of that. But we'll see. That half looks okay. Now this one, the surface detail there is a bit sketchy. I've had to try and recarve a panel line here that was pretty much gone. The surface is a bit, it's not as smooth as it is in the other sides. I don't think that's a problem. It's a tank after all. I said some of them are fine, but others are not so good. I hope I've had the right file. It's important to get this back bit right because you want the two halves to come together as seamlessly as possible. It's just a shame that it's this kind of texture. This that kind of texture, because any sort of mistakes you make, or it's, you just know that it's just not going to line up very well. Okay, so let's try and put some halves together and see what the best combination is. I'm already having a bit of difficulty with this one. Yeah, okay, they're not going together well. Let's try a different combination. Okay, that's a bit better. You see what I mean at the back? Now, from the pictures, that center thing is meant to be there, but it's only on one half. I don't know, I don't really like that much. It seems a bit, doesn't seem as good as the rest of the kit. And again, you've got this big seam down the center, and you also have to deal with the fact that there's a bit of a step there. Well, let's try this other two, see how they go together. That's a lot nicer than the other one. Okay, those two are good. I can live with that. But these two are not so good. I'm just wondering if I can. No, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna have to live with it. Live with the seam. You gotta remember the turrets here will sit on top of that, hiding most of that. So really, the only seam you need to deal with is this one, because this will be on top, covering all this problem area there. So I'm not gonna deal with it. And I'm gonna magnetize these as well, but the trick with this one is I'm gonna have to let it really dry before I start drilling into this this hole. Or alternative, actually, I'll drill into the turret twice as far as the magnet size, and I might just glue the magnet on top of this tank, and then this will sit on like that. Oh, maybe not. It's tricky. I'll figure it out. See, I'm gonna figure it all out for you guys. You won't have to make all the same mistakes I did. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Let's get the old super glue on the go now. I think what I'm going to do is just going to put a dab of super glue on the 2 pins. Yeah, I'll do that for now. That should hold the 2 halves together. And then I might try and run the thin super glue into the seams. I'll try that from the base, just in case this goes horribly wrong, which it probably will. Where's me nozzle? This should help. See how this goes. You know what, that's working quite well. That's running into the seam, and any blemishes on the surface I think I'll be able to take care of, especially this one here. I'm going to have to sand and sort out the seam for this anyway. Oops, I think I did a bit too much there. Getting overzealous. I hope I haven't messed up the detail. What's happened? I'm not fond of super glue. Gets stuck to me all the time. Okay, so these are definitely stuck together, but now I have to deal with this. If you can see there, I have to deal with this problem. I'm just going to make sure it's stuck, so let's spray it. See that green? The greenness, that's the from the super glue. Right then. Let's smooth the surface out again. Just kind of filled in that gap, but I think I'll still use some putty on that, I think, after the fact. Might have ruined some of the detail there, but as I said, that isn't going to be visible underneath the turret of the gun. I think I just need to be a bit more careful with the way I did that glue before. Might also help if I use a stronger sanding stick. That's better. Right then. There's a bit of a step. If I might be able to just sand that down, and then I might not even have to fill it, because the super glue is acting as a filler. As I said, this is probably the weakest part of the kit I can see so far. Although the dropship's going to involve some gluing as well. Kind of like the walkers for that aspect. Each individual part is just its own little entity. So there's no gluing involved really, except for gluing them together. Whereas with these you've got to hope that the halves line up. Without primer on it, I'm really not going to know how good that is, but I think that's probably passable. We'll see. We'll do a better job with the other one. Right, that's one down, I guess. This one's already got a nasty step in it. It's going to need some work, this one. Now, these don't fit together very well. Just wondering if I can figure out where. Okay, so there's a bit there. It's a little better. The front doesn't want to stick together so much. Let's see if we can maybe widen this hole a bit. Nope. Just filling out this pin a bit. Maybe that was the issue. Who knows? That goes together a bit better. Okay. Super glue time. Oh, that's the wrong one. I did not want to use the thin super glue there. That would have gone horribly wrong. Let's get those stuck together. Now, try and be a bit more careful this time. Not even going to go near that centre bit. Right. See, the thin stuff dries pretty instantly, whereas the medium stuff takes a while. That's why you can use the kicker to speed it up. Just gonna get in there straight away. I'm gonna bother with kicker on this one. We'll see how it goes. Don't even know why I'm doing this on the underside of the tank. You're never gonna see this. Well, then again, these are picked up by the dropship, so that's the point. Actually, it would have been nice to see some extra detail at the bottom. You know, seeing as you're going to be able to see these. Well, if you go the way I'm doing it, magnetizing them, you're going to be able to see these under the dropship. It'd be nice to get that extra bit of detail, but well, then again, maybe tanks do have just a flat bottom. Who knows? There we go. Super glue's acting as a filler for us there, and a joiner. See, I appreciate the fact that there's no detail trying to cross over at this point, because it'd just be a nightmare to fix if you did have to sand it down. So I appreciate good design in the way that parts of models come together, you know, minimize the detail that's going to get ruined by sanding, like panel lines and what have you. I always appreciate that. That'll do. I've got two tank chassis. I'm thinking what I'll do, probably make another video, or maybe not, I'm not sure. But I've got some Vallejo plastic putty, and what I'm going to do is just paint that on, let it dry, sand it down, and then hopefully that should fill in any tiny seams. I'll use the same stuff as well to fix the bubbles on the front of the walkers. Right then, so the turrets. It's a bit of flash around the barrel. Nothing to worry about. There's the nub where it was joined to sprue. Should probably just sand that one. These sanding sponges are great, by the way, if you can get them, because you know this is a curved surface, and these work really well at sanding curved surfaces without leaving, you know, nasty, perfectly straight sanding marks like you would get with a file or something stiffer. The seam is actually on the edge, which is nice. I appreciate that. Just a quick brush around. Gets rid of any of that. Just carefully sand the end of the barrel. What's nice is I've just noticed is the barrels are actually, they have a hole, so you don't have to pre-drill. You don't have to drill them yourself just to add the extra detail. The detail's already there. You can see the connector for the dropship there, exactly the same as the what they call battle walkers. So that would ordinarily just sitting there, and you can glue it, but you know it's a tank. Although you don't need to have this movable, you could use blue tack, but you know I've been using magnets, so let's continue the magnet trend. Just really thinking about how to do this, because I'm worried what I'm going to do is end up drilling through this into the center. So I'm going to be very careful. Very careful. I also don't want to accidentally separate the parts when I'm doing this, so I'm going to hold them pretty tight. Not want to take any chances here. If I drill through this, this is okay, that's as far as I can go. I can almost see it drilling through. There's actually a tiny hole there, so this is going to be tricky. I think I'm going to have to ensure that I drill a hole much deeper in this, so that the magnet can sit in and leave a little bit of room for this magnet that's probably not going to sit as flush in this hole. Just for the sake of it, I'll make sure these magnets are facing the same way as this part here. Yeah, that's the main thing. Be consistent with your use of magnets. I've just added a bit of super glue to the hole. Now I need to be very careful I don't accidentally push this through the resin. It's probably quite thin now. Yeah, it's as good as I'm going to get there. Not quite flush. Oh well. It's also not quite centered, so this plan of mine of making sure this is has a little bit of a gap probably isn't going to work. Right. Oh well. Let's Get a pilot hole this time. Do not want to rush this. This is very delicate, this particular one. It's a lot thinner hole than the one on the bottom of the battle walker. So any slippage and you'll end up going through the side wall of this turret. There we go. Looks really nice. This resin is a pleasure to work with, much easier than metal. You just wouldn't be able to do this with metal. Okay, I think that's it. I'm not going to go any further in case I drill through the top. I said hold it up to a bright light if you you're worried, because this stuff is quite transparent actually, although it doesn't look it. Now, let's put a tiny bit of glue in the bottom. Go. Let's see how this turns out. Okay, so it's not quite flush. Tell you what I'll do, because that magnet's sitting just a tiny bit into this gap, I'll sand away until it's flush with the magnet. Like so. That should help it sit flush. Brilliant. Brilliant, there we go. We have a working tank. And that's a strong enough connection that you can hold it up here, so this will be able to sit on the dropship and it's not going to break off. Considering I think this is probably the weakest part of this kit so far, at least I suspect it will be. That's come out quite nicely. I won't bother you with the other one. I'm just going to rinse repeat the same thing. Then next time, I tell you what, there's no point really showing the construction of these because it's just clipping them off the sprue and sticking them to that. So I won't do a video of that. That's too easy. But next time we'll make a start on the dropships. So I'll see you then. Any questions? Just put them in the comments below, and I'll try and get back in touch with you. Until next time, take care. See you later. I nearly forgot something. So, I added the magnet on there, but I forgot to add the magnet on the top here. Now, when I did, I almost drilled through to the other side, if you can see just there. So you've got to be very careful with that one. But that worked, and it was really cool. So I started to look at the other turret. I just wanted to highlight something. This one had a lot more flashing, and it had a big hole in the barrel. And part of the barrel just came off, and I realised what had happened is this whole barrel section is completely hollow when it shouldn't be. I can highlight this if I hold it up to the light. Hopefully, anyway. Can you see how transparent this is? Right. You see. Now the problem is that is silly delicate. Absolutely, it will buckle and break. Now the other turret, I don't know how well this is going to show through. It is a lot more solid. This one, those little things by my thumbnail here. One of them just came off. I've tried to super glue it back, and I've tried to fill the hole. There was a big hole at the front of the barrel with super glue, and it's kind of come out. So really, I can't really file it away because this is so. Look at that. Look how transparent and thin that is. So I'm really worried that basically this is going to break. So, you know, I did say this is probably the weakest part of the kit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to postpone doing anything with this, and I have to test the waters with the customer services for Hawk Wargames and see if they can maybe send me a replacement part, because I do not, considering the price paid, I would not find that acceptable. And I'm worried that, you know, the slightest bend on that and it's just going to buckle and break. I can practically see through it without even needing the light. So that's a shame. But yeah, the other one went well, even though I nearly drilled through the top, or the bottom even, but it's fine because you're not going to see under here. So that vehicle went well. It's just that this turret is not great. So I just thought I'd let you know. And yeah, probably tomorrow I will endeavour to do the drop ships. Okay, take care guys. See you next time.